All right, good afternoon, guys. I'm pretty stoked about this video. We built two composting systems. Can't call them composting systems because we're in a HOA overload situation here. But I did one Hugelkultur bed just over a month ago, and I did another composting flower mound just over 2 weeks ago. And I think it's a good time to do an update. So we're just kind of smashed in front of this verbena because it's super windy. But let's get going. And if you guys have seen the two videos that I was talking about, we'll put timestamps up here and here. I'm just going to quickly run through what I did, and you can just fast forward to what it looks like now. So let's go. Okay, so the Hugelkultur bed, we made it on May 31st, and then basically 2 weeks later, June 15th, we actually planted into it. Now the Hugelkultur bed stayed about, it never got thermophilic, but it stayed about 100 degrees. It took a couple days to get up to it. It stayed about 100 degrees for just over 3 weeks. So when we planted into it, it was about 100 degrees, which is pretty crazy. Okay, so just over 3 weeks ago, we planted 2 sweet potatoes, a basil, a couple pepper plants, and a very interesting looking potato, and what else? And 3 mystery melon plants. There was a little confusion early spring here, and we didn't have them labeled up, so we just slammed 3 in there. And we obviously didn't expect much. It was very warm, but adding, I think, a little bit of the COF and some soil, not only when I built the Hugelkultur bed, we thought we might get a little bit of growth or survival. So, okay. So, after 3 weeks or so of surviving, trying to grow, this is what it looks like. So yeah, I'm pretty damn impressed with what's happening. Rick from Bar Chuckin' said that because I stepped down on it so much and compressed it, probably wouldn't get up to heat, and by that chance of me doing that, I think that's really kind of the key to how these things survived. It didn't get too hot. Obviously you can see the pepper plants aren't thriving, but the basil and the squashes are doing great. Now the sweet potato, it looks sad, but it has been eaten twice by bunny rabbits. We're trying to rectify that now with the little cage. We'll see how it does. But yeah, I just couldn't be happier with how things are looking. And one thing you'll notice too is the squash plants. They're getting a little attacked by squash beetles, but we're just gonna let it ride and see what happens. We're not going to use any kind of pesticides or any kind of measures, and just see what happens with the plants. It's a bonus that they're at the point they're at now. So yeah, we'll just see. So I think one of the biggest reasons for success with this is when I layered it, I did put adorable amounts of finished compost in with it. I think I did 2 layers of finished compost, and also adding some COF really helped, and in the planting holes adding some of our soil as well definitely helped. All right, so yeah, let's kind of crack it open and see what's happening after 3 weeks. I'm really interested to see if this stuff is breaking down at all. So mostly wood still. It's warm though. Okay, that was pretty awesome. Okay, so let's head over to the composting flower bed slash corn slash sweet potato slash melon bed. Okay, there was 2 main goals with this one. Was to create some clean compost, and the second one, and just as important, was to confuse the HOA overlords into thinking this was just a regular raised garden bed. Okay, and we built this on June 22nd, which is just over 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. and we planted into it the same day. As you guys saw, like we just layered it. We put a little bokashi in the top, and yeah, added a little layer of COF, some finished compost to it. But yeah, it got hot. It got up to 131, pretty much right on the money for 2 days, and then thankfully dropped down because everything was looking very, very sad. Obviously, plants aren't meant to grow in that much heat and probably that much off-gassing for sure. Okay, so the crazy thing is it's still pretty hot. It's between, depending on where I put the thermometer, it's between 110 and 120 in the pile, and it's still continuing the composting process. Okay, so what did we plant? We planted 2 sweet potatoes. We planted, again, a mystery melon. Around the perimeter, I planted some of Cody from Groundskeeper Cody YouTube channel. He sent me some corn, some ornamental corn. So I've done that around the edges. We also have some barrage that we just split off another plant, and then I got 3 plants for $3 at the garden center, and just put them in there, and figured if they die, it's not a big deal. Okay, on this one, all of you, including us, really didn't expect much. Yeah, it got pretty hot, but check this out. So yeah, I'm kind of blown away. But there was a couple eagle-eyed viewers that saw a couple tricks that I did just to try to keep the plants alive as long as possible. Yeah, there's no way I could plant straight into an active compost pile, I felt. So please forgive me, but you know, to satisfy the HOA overlords, I figured we needed to keep these things alive as long as possible. They're not thriving, but they're not dying. So that's kind of the whole point. And I think once that corn starts growing up, it's going to create a very nice, I don't know, it'll look pretty cool, I think. So yeah. Okay, so let's dig into this bad boy. So as you can see, the composting process is obviously doing its job. The material is starting to break down nicely. Obviously there's some bigger chunks of wood chips, but that's what we had for carbon. That we felt was safe to use here in the Midwest. And yeah, obviously the pile's dropped a little bit, but and it should. So yeah, we're super stoked. I think we achieved both goals. We're definitely making compost at the moment, and on top of that, we're actually growing stuff in there. I'm really excited about the corn to actually start breaking up the subsoil. Remember, we're not even growing on soil here. All the topsoil has been scraped off, and we're basically growing straight into subsoil. So really looking for that corn to break that up, being able to spread out the compost, and really give the plants a good start next year. So as a bit of a side note, one thing I'm really interested in is, will this composting process lower the pH? As many of you know, we have a very, very high pH level here. It's over 7.5. And our expansion plans include a lot of blueberries and fruit trees, which probably most of you know, 7.5 plus isn't the best to plant into. So I'm going to be interested in seeing what the pH is at after the composting process, and I'm just wondering if you guys would have any ideas yourself, if the compost and the biology on it would have some sort of effect on the high pH that's there. Yeah, I'd be super interested in hearing what you guys thought. All right, so these were our first attempts of, I think, many here. We couldn't be happier with the results, and yeah, we're learning a bunch from this. If you guys have any feedback, we always love to hear it. But yeah, just it was an awesome first attempt. I'm really interested to see what ends up happening. We might, if we get a sweet potato, that would just be awesome. if the vines stay alive and create the illusion, that'll be just fine too. If they die, that'll be fine. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day. This is a really fun one for me to do. And yeah, you guys stay awesome. Cheers.
Tight.
Check out these June bugs.
Tight.
Here.
The underside of them?
Whoa. Check that thing out. Whoa. Crazy looking. I think that might be what's eating our squash. Whoa. Freak me out.